Good day, viewers. My name is Kesfem, and I welcome you to another edition of Economics UTME Past Questions Review. Today, we are going to review UTME 2021 questions 21 to 40. Before we start, I want you to like the video, comment, subscribe, and share the link with others. Question 1. Question 21. Which of the following is not a characteristic of perfect market? In perfect market, supply and demand are equal because firms are price takers. That's equilibrium price. Products are identical. They are similar in weight, in size. There is perfect knowledge in perfect market, but there is no advertising in perfect market. So our correct answer is option D. Advertising is not done in a perfect market. Question 22. Inflation is likely to benefit the debtors because during inflation, by the time the debtors return the money, the value would have dropped because the price of items, goods and services will be generally high. So the creditor is the one that will lose while the debtor benefits when there is inflation. Question 23. When a nation's exports are greater than its imports, it means a favorable balance of payment exists. You can't pick balance of trade because balance of trade only focuses on visible exports and visible imports. Balance of payment covers both visible exports, visible imports, invisible exports, and invisible imports. Option C is our answer. Question 24. Surplus in balance of payment leads to increase in foreign reserves. Budget surplus has nothing to do with balance of payment. Budget surplus is when government revenue is higher than government expenditure. And decrease in foreign reserve, that's the case, it happens when there is balance of payment deficit. That's when the payment for imports is higher than the receipt from exports. So when there is balance of payment surplus, that means the receipt from exports is greater than the payment for imports, and that will lead to increase in foreign reserves. Number 25. Economics may be defined as the study of human behavior in the allocation of scarce resources. That is how human beings behave when it's to in allocation of scarce resources to satisfy human unlimited wants. Remember the foundation of economics: human wants are unlimited while resources required to satisfy the wants are scarce. Question 26. Money becomes a poor store of value in a period of deflation. In a period of inflation, sorry, option D. In a period of inflation, there is persistent increase in the general price level. And that means items, goods and services are generally expensive, which makes money become the value of money drops and you can't use it to store value. So money becomes a better store of value when there is deflation, when the general price level is decreasing. Our correct answer is option D. Question 27. In Nigeria, checks are not money because they are not generally acceptable as medium of exchange. Whatever we serve as money must be generally acceptable as a medium of exchange in that country. So not everybody accepts check, probably because of the stress involved. Some people are too busy to go to the bank, so they prefer cash or transfer. Our correct answer is option D. Number 28. Division of labor is limited by the size of the market. Division of labor is breaking down of production process into different stages such that each stage or process is undertaken by an individual or group of individuals. So when the market size is the demand, the quantity demanded. When the quantity demanded for the commodity is small, it means what to be produced will be less. What will be produced will be less, and there will be no need to divide production process into different stages. So that would really limit division of labor. Question 29. Value of money depends primarily on the general price level. When the general price level is high, the value of money drops. When the general price level is low, the value of money increases. Option B. In a free market economy, that's a capitalist economy, the rationing of scarce goods is done principally by price mechanism. That's using the market forces of demand and supply to determine price. From this diagram, we have the demand curve and we have the supply curve. At the point where quantity demanded equals quantity supplied, that's equilibrium point, and that price where the quantity demanded is the same with quantity supplied is equilibrium price. At that price, these buyers and sellers are on the same page. There is no cheating. Question 31. If the price of a commodity falls and the quantity purchased does not rise, the commodity can be described as inferior. The price has reduced. Normally, you should expect the quantity demanded to increase as price has reduced. But in this case, the price has fallen, but quantity demanded does not increase. That means the commodity is inferior to the individual. Example of inferior commodity include cow skin. Cow skin is inferior to some people. Gari, cassava flakes is also inferior to some people. Number 32. An economic problem arises when scarcity and choices are involved. There's an economic problem when resources are scarce and an individual has to make choice. You have to choose which commodity to buy and which commodity you are to buy later. Which one to buy now, which one to buy later, which one is more important based on your scale of preference. Number 33. Which of the following is not a cause of high population growth in Nigeria? Improved hygiene is a cause of high population growth. Reduction in death rate will increase the population. Family planning unit of Nigeria is an attempt to reduce the population. That will not contribute to population growth in Nigeria. Increased birth rates will also increase population. So our answer is option C because of this not NOT that is in the question. Number 34. Inflation can be curbed, that is, can be controlled by reducing the aggregate demand. One of the causes of inflation, especially demand pull inflation, is when the quantity demanded is higher than the quantity supplied. When that happens, the sellers are forced to increase the price because they are aware that there is a shortage or deficit in the market. So they take advantage of that. Number 35. A typical corporate form of business organization is owned by shareholders. That's basically limited liability company, which could be private limited liability company owned by 2 to 50 shareholders, or public limited liability company owned by 2 to infinity shareholders. Number 36. The price mechanism allocates scarce resources using the market forces of demand and supply to ensure there is no wastage of scarce resources in a free market economy. Number 37. If Mr. A earns 2,000 naira a year, while Mr. B earns 8,000 naira, but Mr. A pays 200 naira in tax, per annum and Mr. B pays 400 naira. Such tax is regressive. Mr. A earns 2,000 naira and he pays 200 naira as tax. That's 10%. His tax rate is 10%. Mr. B earns 8,000 naira and he pays 400 naira as tax. His tax rate is 5%. You can see that as the income increased from 2,000 to 8,000, the tax rate reduced from 10% to 5%, which is regressive tax system. The higher the income, the lower the tax rate. That's option D. Question 38. Which of these is not usually the function of a wholesaler? Branding. Wholesaler, take note of the word not usually. Wholesaler does not always brand the product. Storage. Wholesaler stores the product in his warehouse. He transports the product, that moves the product from the producer to his own warehouse and also to the retailer. He advertises the product. But A is not usually, branding is not usually a function of wholesaler. Question 39. If the quantity demanded of a commodity increases from 20 to 30, when there is an increase in the price from 4 naira to 5 naira, the elasticity of demand is, we have the formula here, percentage change in quantity demanded divided by the percentage change in price. Percentage in quantity demanded is 30, that's the new quantity minus old quantity, 20 divided by 20 times 100. That will give us 10 over 20 times 100. 20 in 100 is 5. 5 times 10 will give us 50%. For percentage change in price, we have 5 minus 4, that's 1, divided by 4 times 100. 4 in 100 is 25. 25 times 1 will give us 25%. Now we divide the two. 50% divided by 25% will give us 2, which makes our answer 2, option C. That's the elasticity of demand, and that's elastic demand because it is greater than 1. The last question for today. By utility, we mean the power of satisfying a want. Utility is not the usefulness of a product. It is not how beneficial the product is. It is not how consumable the product is. It is the power of a commodity to satisfy a want, to give reasonable satisfaction to a consumer. We have come to the end of today's series. I appreciate you for watching. I thank you for your time, and your support means a lot to me. Remember to like the video, comment, subscribe, and share. See you next time.